Oh, God, you know when you're just like, you're so tired and you just don't want to do anything, you just want to lie down and just sleep. That's how I've been for the past few days, but here I am bringing you guys another video. What's up, everybody? Demon back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla King of the Monsters discussion video. Now, I did already make this exact video. I made it, what day was it? December 19th, 2018. I know, so long ago. But I have to do it again because I guess I just have to. I don't know. People don't want to go back and watch that old video or something. There was a new Godzilla King of the Monsters TV spot for those of you who don't know. It was called Only One Can Be King. It featured a whole bunch of footage. Well, not a whole, it was 30 seconds. But it featured footage of our new Kaijus, our new Titans, I guess that's what we're calling them. The big spider in the ground and the big mountain that rises up. I did a whole breakdown video for it. Just go check that video out, and that way you don't have to not know about it. I don't know. Just go watch my video from the other day because we break it down and it's awesome. But today we're going to be specifically talking about who are the kaiju under the ground. Basically what this is I'm going to go through and talk about different fan theories and why I think that these are either plausible or not plausible. Similar to what I did in the last one, although this one will be, I don't know, a little bit more opinionated. I don't actually remember too much about that last video. I know it was only a few months ago, but I've got a bad memory and I'm tired. So we're just gonna do it like I never did it before and just start from the ground up. Alright, so seriously, who are the new Titans? Let's break it down, starting out with the legs. Yeah, we do see about 6 legs coming up from the ground. That is roughly what I count. I'm not sure what the exact number is here. These legs are busting up around the Monarch trucks that are driving around. Yeah, I don't have an exact count for how many legs there are. I count 6 in the trailer. That's what I count. And some people have said, oh, there's not 6, there's like 3 or 4, and then there's oil spurting up from the ground as well. That is entirely possible. I'm sticking with 6 because I anticipate 8. That's just what I'm expecting. So I'm a little biased when it comes to that. And I don't know where this is. This could be anywhere on Earth, although I still feel like there's a big possibility for it to be in Arizona area, somewhere in the West in America. I feel like that is probably what we're looking at here. Maybe it's Eastern America, like Texas area. I'm not totally sure. I just feel like it's going to be America. And the reason I feel like it's going to be America is because of the presence of Monarch. We do see the Monarch trucks driving around. And although Monarch is clearly watching these other locations all over Earth, I don't think they have as big of a presence all over Earth as they have in America. So the number one fan theory for this guy is Kumonga, and I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again because it just isn't. I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people are really excited for it to be Kumonga because why? Why are you excited for Kumonga? It's just a big spider. There's nothing really cool about Kumonga. This could be a big spider, and it could be a Kumonga Easter egg. That's entirely possible. But it isn't going to be called Kumonga. And the reason for that is they're smart enough not to pay for the namesake of a kaiju. It doesn't logically make sense to pay for the name Kumonga when you can make a giant spider on your own and get away with it. They've done it in Kong Skull Island. Movie studios have been doing it for decades. Long before Kumonga showed up, there was giant spiders on film. So I don't think that this is Kumonga simply because it might be spider legs. Now we got Ebra. That's another popular fan theory. This one I'm just gonna say no. It isn't. I've entertained the notion in the past that maybe this was the ocean at one point, the monster went underground, the ocean dried up, and now it's underground. It isn't Ebra. Ebra is not a fan favorite. Even Godzilla fans typically don't like Ebra. I mean, look at Brandon Tenold's review for the movie. People just generally don't like Ebra because he's not that cool. A giant crab coming up out of the ground or lobster, or actually I think he's a crawfish, and then crawling its way wherever it's gonna go, it wouldn't fit. I think the kaiju would die. I think it would. A giant crawfish or lobster or whatever he is on land, it wouldn't live that long no matter what. So I don't know. I think Ebra's ruled out here. A giant spider, just a generic giant spider, I think that is 100% plausible and probably what we're seeing here. If not, I think it's a giant scorpion. I still stick with that. And there are some people saying, what if it's the black scorpion? You know, because there was the 1957 movie, The Black Scorpion. Again, it wouldn't make sense for them to bring him back. This, I believe, was a Warner Brothers movie, so you could argue that they have the rights for the monster, but no one's gonna get that reference. No one's gonna be sitting there in the theater and go, that's the Black Scorpion. It just won't happen. The legs are brown too. They're brown legs coming up out of the ground. They're not black legs. I think it's a scorpion though. Scorpions aren't touched on as much, so it would be possible that a scorpion would show up in this movie and they'd give him some time to shine. Not really. It'd probably be a cameo in a brief montage at the very end. That's my anticipation anyways. They could put a scorpion in here. That'd be pretty cool. Or maybe it's just a brand new monster design with scorpion-esque legs. We know that movies like Pacific Rim and Godzilla 2014, they try to keep the kaiju designs more into something that would exist in real life, like giant animals. And I think they're going to stick with that here, so we will be seeing the influence of real-life creatures, real-life arachnids in here. But I don't think it's actually going to be a real-life arachnid. I think it will be a brand new looking creature that will lean more towards scorpion than anything else we're used to. That's personally what I feel about it. And that's really all I'll say about this guy is it isn't Kumonga, it's not Ebra, it's it is. I'm going to say 100% that this is a brand new kaiju we have never seen before, and it will most likely look more like a scorpion than anything else. But who knows, it could be a crab. I've got no idea. Maybe it's a crab, maybe it's a lobster. They could go real crazy and obscure and be like, oh, we designed it to look like Kamobas, or something like that. Or we designed it to look like Gymes. Something that fans would like not get. You know, it'd go right over our heads. And they'd be like, no, that was an Easter egg. We said we were putting lots of Easter eggs in the movie. It's not actually that kaiju, but it kind of looks like it. That's entirely possible. I don't think it's plausible though. Let's move on to the mountain monster. The mountain monster I find much more interesting because we get to see his face. This one is in Munich, Germany. It's Outpost 67. I was wondering, okay, you know, we know the other outposts. They are references. Godzilla, he doesn't have an outpost. Mothra, she's Outpost 61. That is the release date of Mothra. The movie came out in 1961. You have Rodan, who's 59, right? And then you're like, oh, Rodan, 59, that's the year that Rodan came out. You have Ghidorah, who's in Containment Facility 32, which is half of 64, the first year Ghidorah came out, and also 32 is a reference to the movie The Thing, which was in Outpost 31. It was about an alien in ice, blah, blah, blah. It's a sick Easter egg reference, all right? It's a deep cut. So I was wondering, what does 67 have to do with anything? Is 67 a reference to the monster? It could be. It still could be. It could be a reference to the year the movie came out that whatever this monster is based on. I don't know. I don't think it is, though. I tried to check what Godzilla movie came out in 1967. It's Son of Godzilla. The monsters we are introduced to in that movie are Kumonga, Kamacuras, and Minya. It's not Minya. Very obviously not Minya. This thing looks bigger than Godzilla, in my opinion, with this village in the foreground. It just looks bigger than Godzilla. I'm gonna say it's not Minya. 100%. No two Godzillas in the movie. Kamacuras, nope. Kamacuras does not look like this. He's a praying mantis. He is not a giant spiky kaiju. Kumonga, no. You know, you could argue that, oh yeah, 67, that's a reference to the spider coming up in the Monarch oil field. I don't think so, because why would that outpost not be 67? You'd think that that outpost would be 67, not this one. This one's 67, not the spider, or I'm gonna stick to the scorpion. So I'm gonna say it's none of these. It's nothing to do with Son of Godzilla. That is just a number they picked, probably, and it just isn't what we think it is. Here are the popular Toho monsters people have been suggesting that this is, or really they're just like, it has to be. It just has to be. And it isn't any of them. Anguirus is the number one. It isn't Anguirus. There's a million reasons why it isn't. He would be worth having in the movie. If you got Anguirus, Godzilla fans would be super hyped about it. Although, general public would have no idea who he is, so it's not worth it to buy him. But if you put Anguirus in a MonsterVerse film, you'd want to give him time to shine, and this monster's a cameo. It's going to show up, I presume, at the end of the film. It's going to be a cameo. Don't get your hopes up to see this monster in a big monster brawl or an epic fight sequence, because it won't. It just won't happen. Don't anticipate that. Anguirus would be worthy of getting more than a little bit of screen time. That's what I'll say, and they're not going to kick Anguirus to the side and give him a cameo in this movie. It's not a Destroy All Monsters cameo. There'd be no point in spending that much money on Anguirus if you're just going to waste him like that. So it's not Anguirus. It just simply isn't. Next one is Baragon. It doesn't look like it fits the body structure / shape for Baragon at all. I would expect Baragon to be much smoother than this one is. And again, Baragon just wouldn't be worth it to buy. He does have a big horn on his head, and people have argued that you can see a big horn coming out of the ground. I don't think that's necessarily a horn, what we're looking at. I think it's like a shoulder blade or like an elbow blade. I don't think we're seeing a horn here. It could be a big horned kaiju to make it look like Baragon and Anguirus and be like a little reference to both of them at once, but it probably isn't. It's just a new design is what I'd guess, because when you see the face, it doesn't look like the face has a big horn on the head, and so I'm gonna say there probably isn't one. Baragon, though, he wouldn't be worth it. You could give him a tiny little cameo, and that'd be enough screen time for Baragon, but no one would get who that is, so it's a waste of money. Megalon very clearly isn't Megalon. He's too silly for the MonsterVerse. Get him out of here. A lot of people see the face and they thought it was Orga. It's not Orga. Orga is an alien from space who who has a very complicated origin story. He's also not a very well-loved kaiju. I know a lot of Godzilla fans typically like him, but that character hasn't been treated with a lot of respect in the past. It'd be surprising, to say the least, if Michael Dougherty was like, oh yeah, I need to give that character the respect he deserves, and then threw him in this movie. It just doesn't make sense to me why you'd put Orga in here. Also, again, Orga, why is he underground? I don't know. And it just doesn't fit. Why would you give that monster a cameo like that? Orga, it wouldn't make sense to have him be a tiny little cameo appearance coming up out of the ground. You'd lose all the characterization for him. You'd lose everything interesting about him. Biolante's another one, and it just isn't Biolante either, because Biolante is genetically engineered, and you could say it's a new continuity. Stop sticking to the old stuff, D-Man. It's a new Biolante. Well, it isn't Biolante, because Biolante is not made of rocks. This monster looks like its skin texture is going to be more rock-like than anything, which is how it blended in as a mountain for so long. Biolante is a big plant, so that doesn't make any sense. I guess people are saying that because the face kind of looks like Biolante, but not really. Another one that people have thrown out, and this is one that I subscribed to in the past, is the big Mountain Kaiju from Godzilla Awakening. Although, as it was pointed out to me, in Godzilla Awakening, that's kind of supposed to be Godzilla emerging from the ground after hibernating. Godzilla doesn't move like that though, and that comic book is only kind of canon. Only things from it, elements of it, are canon. It was also written based off a screenplay for Godzilla 2014, not written off the final script, so it's filled with continuity errors. That's not our boy Godzilla. I'm gonna say it now. I don't care. I'm gonna retcon it for the MonsterVerse because that doesn't make any sense for that to be Godzilla. He doesn't move like that. I still think this could be the giant Mountain Kaiju from Godzilla Awakening, and it could be a retcon where they went, oh yeah, back then we kind of said it was Godzilla. We implied that it was supposed to be Godzilla, but it isn't, because that's dumb. So we changed it, and now it's a new monster. Although it probably wouldn't be that exact monster from the comic book. They'd probably just use the design because, I don't know, that would create some issues. How'd the monster get underground near this village? If it was crawling around in Godzilla Awakening, there'd be some problems there. Now, everyone's throwing out their theories, and I figured I'll throw out my own because mine's a good one and it's better than yours. That makes me sound real cocky, but it was supposed to be a joke, and it just didn't play like that. But it is, it's a joke. Sorry about that. It's Mega Kaiju, guys, from Pacific Rim Uprising. That's all I'm saying. Look at the face. It's got the same face, and it's got the big spiky tooth. It clearly isn't. I'm just messing around, guys. Don't take it seriously. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that movie like co-produced by Legendary or something? Don't they own the rights to Pacific Rim? Something like that? Or Warner Brothers, at the very least, has heavy influence over Pacific Rim Uprising. It's Mega Kaiju. They have the rights to him, confirmed. It's a new monster. Don't get your hopes up for one of our old Toho boys to make a cameo. They're not going to waste the money on it, and it'd be not very satisfying to see one of our favorite monsters show up for all of 2 seconds of screen time, so it's not one of them. It's a new monster, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. Really quickly, before we end the video here, I want to give a shout out to Kaiju Vs Cancer. We have a brand new book for sale for Kaiju Vs Cancer, link down below, top of the description. Please check it out. It's an anthology written by a bunch of the guys working on Kaiju Vs Cancer, such as Matthew Denian, Mark Denian, Christopher Nigro, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that last name, and Andres Perez. I've got the Amazon link down below so you can check it out. There is a Kindle version and a paperback version. All proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Basically, I'll give you a brief plot synopsis because the one they have there is a bit complicated. A whole bunch of independent fan series, Giant Monster and not, are being brought together in kind of a Spider-Verse way where an interdimensional creature spreads an illness throughout multiple universes, and one character will travel between all these universes to help them stop this monster and unite the universes, and it'll be a big crossover event between all these indie comics and books. Please go check it out and consider buying it because once again, all proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's for a good cause, and that's all I'll say about it. It's linked down there, so go check it out. Thank you all for watching this video. What do you think? Did I sway you? Did I persuade you to think that it is not one of our Toho Kaiju, or are you still sticking to your guns and you're like, it's a Toho Kaiju? Listen, convince me. Change my mind. I don't think it is, but maybe you can change my mind. You can. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man, out.